everyone, and welcome to the Delta Quadrant for part 2 of this week's videos. Today, it is time for the Elachi Monbosh Battleship. And we're going to start off by looking at it because I think it looks pretty cool. I quite like its looks. And it's different. And that's one of the cool points about the Elachi ships, is their looks. Totally forgot to leave my order of things in front of me. I keep a piece of paper giving me the order of how to do these, just in case I forget along the way. So, for the weapons, we've got the enhanced biomolecular photon torpedo, 3 Elachi Mark 11 beam rays, accuracy and crit hit times 2, accuracy times 2 crit hit, accuracy crit hit times 2, and then accuracy crit hit times 2. Also got the experimental proton weapon, the kinetic cutting beam, and the gravimetric photon torpedo. And the reason the proton weapon and gravitorp are on here is to get the 3-piece bonus as well as the 2-piece. So the 2-piece gives you plus 3% critical chance and lets you use FA with the proton weapon, and boosts photon projectiles by 22.9. Excuse the bus driving by, I have my window open. And the 3-piece gives you plus 10% critical chance with photon projectile weapons and 10% critical severity, and then you can use rapid fire with the experimental proton weapon, but I'm not. But regardless, it's to boost crit hit and crit chance, basically. I borrowed the deflector impulse warp and shields from my Galax. So we've got an Akura deflector, which boosts your subsystem repair by 17.5, your shield healing by 26.2, your structural integrity by 17.5, your shield hit points by 26.2, and your power insulators by 17.5. The Akura impulse engines give you plus 18.3 flight speed, plus 0.47 flight turn rate, plus 5 shield power, and on this ship, plus 4 additional shield power. And if my mouse will ever go to it, the reinforced warp core, which we've gone over, and the adaptive regenerative shield array, which again we've gone over. This would be time 3 if I were to give you the stats. For the consoles, it's an Elachi ship, so it gets the subspace transceiver and the bioneural infusion circuits. Transceiver summons a control craft and a little escorting shuttle thing. The bioneural infusion circuits give you 17.2 structural integrity, 17.2 subspace decompiler, and 15.2 critical severity, which is the real reason it's on here. Proton particle stabilizers to get the 3-piece Dyson bonus. You get plus 3 weapons and engine power, and plus 17.3 electroplasma systems, which doesn't matter, and 13.1 proton weapon damage, which gives this dinky little proton weapon a little boost. Just a wee little boost. Because there's beams on here, Akura particle converter, because plus 5 shield power, plus 17.3 power insulators, plus 17.3 particle generator, and 10% accuracy with beam weapons. And then the assimilated console, because that's an obvious one. Now, there's so many other consoles I wanted to throw on this ship, but just couldn't. Now I've got, for this 2-piece bonus, the Counter Command Multi-Conduit Energy Relay, which boosts my disruptors by 13.1 and my photons by 26.2, and that gives me the 2-piece counter command bonus, which is 7.5 bonus disruptor energy weapon damage, phaser as well, and 2% increased chance for biomolecular weapons to apply their incubation debuffs, and I don't have any, besides from one that always does. As you can see, it says biomolecular incubation. There's no 2% chance, none of that. It happens every single time. And for the tactical consoles, to finish them off, 3 vulnerability locators plus disruptor. For traits, everything is pretty much as you saw it before on the Elachi. But to go over the space rep traits, we've got tactical precision, which gives you 3% accuracy for 15 seconds after each tactical bridge officer ability you use, and it stacks up to 5 times, or 15% bonus accuracy. Omega kinetic shearing for that extra bonus to torpedoes, and then of course precision and advanced targeting systems. Excuse me there. Ship stats, nothing impressive here, though there is a crew of 2,000, which is nice. On this particular ship, the hull strength is 54,798. Bonus defense at full speed is 55, which is okay. Not as good as the S-Gulf, but the S-Gulf never goes at full speed anyways. Hull repair rate is 190.5% per minute. The shields regen at 273.8 and have a strength of 9,789, which is not as good as the S-Gulf, but close. The hull repair rate and hull strength obviously are better, though. Resists only have a kinetic damage resistance of 23.7, and energy damage is 26.1. Of course, I'm running dual oxidamps, so those both go through the roof. With oxidamps engaged, I apparently don't have my duty officer because it's 45.6 kinetic resistance. And no, my duty officers didn't change. That's disappointing. I will change those momentarily. For attack, we've got bonus accuracy of 25, but again, in the Alpha Strike, that would go up to 40%. A critical chance of 17.2, which is okay, and a crit severity of 105.4, which is again alright. Nothing too special. At least in terms of what I'm used to. I'm used to more like 20% and a little under 100. And at full tilt, we've got a turn rate of 21.7, a flight speed of 29.58, which looks like this. Slow. Quite slow. I will show you that again with oxidamps, but I also want to show you the resistance that does. So, we need 2 con officers for this build, because it only has a single TAC team. We still have the Warp Core Engineer, but we need the Matter-Antimatter Specialist. So I will swap out the Beam Overload Officer. and that's better. That's what that's supposed to look like. So those are the duty officers. A couple of torpedo officers in there too. Save my loadouts. Okay. Back at full speed. It's 21.7. Oxidamps engaged, it's 32.8, which looks like that. It's a pretty good turn rate. And the resistance, 41.9 or 41.3 on some. Or just on Polaron. And 45.6 with Oxidamps, so those are great resistances. Combat is absolutely effortless in this. So for the bridge officers, went with a engineering officer in one of my Lieutenant Universals. That gives me engineering team and Oxidamps 1. Went with a human tactical officer, torp spread, and FA 2. My Romulan tactical officer, well, one of them, with TAC team, Beam Overload 2, and Attack Pattern Omega 1. My Liberated Borg with her double emergency power to shields, Oxidamps 2, and First Shield Polarity 3. And then I brought in a Trill, that's the word. Trill Science Officer, because she had Hazard Emitters 1. And I like to have Hazard Emitters. And especially this ship has 2 shield heals because of First Shield Polarity, so Hazard Emitters is definitely good to have on this ship. Power levels, as will come as no surprise, 116.80, 75.35, 70.35, and 68.50. Again, not the best power levels that I've had on any of my ships. I mean, I've gotten better, but that tends to be about the average if I have to compromise for crit chance. So my cruisers tend to run lower power levels than my escorts, basically. So this is a really cool ship. A lot of people say it's awkward to fly. I don't really think so. When the UI is screwing up and it's really busy, it can be, but you get to learn the lines of the ship and guide with them and point it about, and something that's pretty cool. It goes flat when you're going up as hard as you can. And when the game's not glitching and you can see the shield lines, they also show you where flat is on this. The front, back, and sides are pretty distinguishable. So it's no problem for me. It could be for others, I'm sure. I could see that. I really like this ship. And here's the story behind it, why I ended up getting this ship. I am in an awesome fleet, which runs a lottery on their TeamSpeak channel every week. And the organizer of it was extremely generous this week because we got a new TeamSpeak server and used 800 of his low buys to give the winner of the ship their choice of low buy ship, which, holy crap, that's awesome of him. I'm super grateful for my ship. And the reason why I chose the Monbosh is twofold. I already have the S-Golf. Actually, it's threefold. I like the way the Monbosh looks. Fourfold. I wanted that subspace transceiver, and I don't like carriers, and all the low-buy ships are carriers. That's how I ended up with this. And I mean, really, I'd have no complaints if I used my own low-buy with it. I would have bought it with my own low-buy eventually, in about 30 years when I earned 800. But that was super generous of him. It's an awesome ship. I really like it. They're fairly cheap on the exchange, too. And, I mean, if I could have got a Galler, just because I love the Galler for some stupid reason. If it was a low-buy ship, that's what I would have got instead. But, you know, Gallers are like 300 mil on the exchange. I think these are 120. It's a super overpowerful ship, though. Well, I wouldn't say overpowerful, but it's effortless. It's not this insane damage dealer, but it tanks like crazy. It's super strong. I mean, I'll try to get a cue balled myself at some point and show you how it works with them. It's a great ship. Anybody who would fly it, as long as you can deal with the shape of it, you'll love it. If you can't deal with the shape of it, you'll probably hate it. So, I will see you in battle, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.